Welcome to Start With a Win, where we give you the tools and lessons you need to create business and personal success. Are you ready? Let's do this.
And coming to you from Brand Viva Media Studios here in Denver, Colorado, it's Adam Contos with Start With a Win. It's a beautiful morning, Producer Mark. How you doing?
It is a beautiful morning, and it's Monday when we're recording this.
Yes.
You'll probably be hearing this on a Wednesday because that's when these episodes come out. But it's a beautiful Monday.
It totally is.
It is.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. You know, I always say that Mondays are awesome because it gives you an opportunity to have success. You know, you have 5 days of like, all right, what can I do today? You know, this is the beginning of it.
5 days.
Well, you know, 7 days, depending on what kind
of... I only have a week to get stuff done until next Monday, buddy.
That's right.
But it's like my kids are like, it's Friday. What are you going to do? I go, oh, it's Friday. I only have 2 more work days until Monday.
Exactly. Well, I'm excited for our guest today. Stephen Izen is with us, and he's the founder and CEO of Lokai, the iconic bracelet brand that motivates consumers to stay humble at their highs and hopeful at their lows in life. Stephen currently serves as the youngest member on the national board of the Make-A-Wish Foundation, was named to the Forbes 30 Under 30 list for retail and e-commerce in 2017, and was the Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year Awards finalist in 2016. Stephen, welcome to Start With a Win.
Producer Mark and Adam, thank you guys both for having me on the show.
Hey, glad to have you here, and we love what you stand for. I mean, just the mindset and the dedication and the constant insight into a hopeful future. So it's pretty cool. And this brand, this is very interesting. I've been following you for quite a while here. Lokai, can you give us the story behind the Lokai brand? I know we have a lot of listeners, I'm sure, that use your product, and it's just a fabulous concept. Tell us about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So about 13 years ago now, I was a freshman at Cornell, and I was on vacation with my family and friends, thinking about how lucky I was to be there. But that week, unfortunately, my grandfather was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and he was someone I was very close to growing up, drove me to school every day, taught me to play golf. And so that experience really brought me to a low in my life. And it just got me thinking about the highs and lows that I was going through and how everybody goes through highs and lows in their life. It doesn't matter your age, gender, demographic, income level. We all have highs and lows. And so it got me thinking, okay, well, what are the highest and lowest points on Earth? Mount Everest and the Dead Sea. And how could I take elements from those two places and incorporate them into a product that people could wear every day as a reminder to find balance in life, staying humble when you're on top of the world and hopeful when you've hit a low. I told my dad that idea, and he said, that's a great idea, but everyone has great ideas. Now go execute it. That's the hard part. And so I kind of set off on this mission to help people find balance in life. And for all the listeners, they're silicone bracelets that look like beaded bracelets. On one side, there's a white ball, and on the other side, there's a black ball that hold the water and mud.
Now, Lokai, what does the name come from? What's that mean, and why did you pick that?
So we changed the spelling a bit, but the origins of Lokai come from Lokahi, which is Lokahi, which in Hawaiian means unity and to blend opposites. And so we changed it a bit just to make it a word that we kind of owned and controlled. But to us, it's just an inspirational word about finding balance and inspiring people to find balance.
You talk a lot about kind of the inspiration, the head and the heart of the people that wear your product, and really what, even the people that don't wear your product, how we should be thinking about life and that mindfulness. What does that mean to you? I mean, what is mindfulness and having that understanding that, okay, there is a high point, there is a low point, and I'm going to transition in life amongst these and be a better person as a result. What is that? I mean, tell me a little bit about that. You're an inspiring leader. How did we get there?
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, the way that I try to live my life is I always envision my last day on Earth and looking back on my life and what I'm going to be thankful for and remember and what I'm going to regret. And I really try to spend my time focused on the things that really fill my cup and are the things that I want to look back on later in life and be proud of. And so for me, that's fitness. I try to do 7 days a week to sweat. For me, it changes my mindset completely. I view myself as an inner athlete. I ran track in college. My family, a wife and 2 little kids. I have a 3.5-year-old and a 1.5-year-old, and then work. And if it doesn't really fit one of those 3 buckets, I kind of try to kick it aside.
It's refreshing to see your intentionality in how you live your life in order to be the best leader that you can be, best family member you can be, you know, parent, father, things of that nature. But I want to dig into your leadership now, the founder CEO piece, because so much of this, you know, it stems from those things we just talked about, but also it is your demonstration of how a leader should be in society. So take me through this, becoming a founder and a CEO, and how did you know, okay, now that I've got a business that is recognized globally, how can I make the most out of this impactfully instead of, you know, we see some people waste this opportunity. What turned you on to it more than anything else in that transition?
Yeah, maybe it's a cheesy line, but it's about the journey, not the destination. And listen, I wasn't always this way. When I started and was a young, early founder, I thought I could do everything better than everyone else, right? Do marketing, sales, customer service, production, everything better. And I micromanaged people and I was on top of people. And I was really just trying to do their jobs for them. And over the years, I've really just learned that your team is the most valuable thing that you have as a leader, and empowering them to build their own business and be successful themselves. And really, how can I help my employee do a better job at their job? Is how I look at my team. And I just try to be honest and transparent and open with them. And I'm also not afraid to have tough conversations when things aren't going well, because they need that feedback too. So it's kind of just how I lead.
How do you see employer-employee relationships changing with generational shifts, with the evolution? I mean, obviously the pandemic made it even more, you know, bright line when it comes to mental health and things like that. But how have you seen those relationships evolve? Take me through a little bit of that. What's on your mind about how should I be acting now versus how I came rolling in? You talked about micromanaging, whatever, but now you're guiding. Take me through that a little bit.
Yeah, COVID has thrown a curveball into things. Before COVID, we were in an office, right? And so you were with everyone, you were grabbing lunch with people. There was time to chit chat at the water cooler.
Right.
Now, as a company, we're totally remote. We don't even have an office anymore, and we have people all over the country. There's actually employees I haven't met in person yet. And so I think just being very thoughtful about, hey, how am I reaching out to these people to spend time with them and talk with them? Are there initiatives we're doing as a company to get people together? New employees, how are we integrating them? Because, right, if you're a new employee coming into a remote company, you're just sitting at your desk at home, unless people are really reaching out at the beginning to tell you what's going on and give you kind of the backstory. So just being really thoughtful and intentional with the relationships and how you start conversations, right? I think I found myself with the remote work, you get on a call, you jump right into business because it's just more efficient. But how do you pause? How do you take time and really get to know the people on the other end of the call? Another thing we actually just implemented as a company is Balance Fridays. So Summer Fridays was something people loved in our company. And, it's interesting as you work remote, I think the line between work-life balance becomes even more blurred because you're kind of working all the time. When you're at home, you don't have to travel. There's no two places. And so we've basically made Balance Fridays, which is essentially Summer Fridays year round, which really gives people Friday afternoon to find balance themselves, right? I think if we are a company that is inspiring people to live balance in their life, we as a company and as a team need to do that as good as anyone else. And so whether it's spending time with family or getting your appointments done or working out, we really want to give our employees that afternoon to unwind.
Those are incredible points, Stephen. Thank you for sharing those. And a lot of entrepreneurs listen to this show. I'd like to ask you, based on what you're just talking about here, what do you see as your future predictions for like social entrepreneurship? You're heavily involved in that, having a company with a cause, but it's a profitable company, it's a growth company, things of that nature. But how should we as entrepreneurs be thinking about our communities and giving back in order to also grow our businesses? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think it's becoming more and more important to consumers supporting brands that are having a positive impact on their communities and the world. And I guess the advice I would just give to any entrepreneur out there listening is if you're going to do it authentically and really do it. Don't do it to try to drive more sales and make it part of the marketing strategy because consumers see right through that. They're really smart. It really has to be deeply integrated into who you are as a business. And a North Star for me has always been Patagonia. Year after year, like campaign after campaign, they just continue to drive home the importance of the environment and saving the world.
That's awesome. And what about predictions for just the entrepreneurial landscape itself? If you were to give a piece of advice for entrepreneurs, what would that be?
Product first. If you don't have a great product, it doesn't matter how good your branding is, your marketing, your ability to sell. It all comes back to the product, and don't cut corners on it. And I think as you're thinking about products to make, is it going to improve people's lives, make their lives easier? Or are you just another version of something that already exists?
Awesome. That's a great point. I mean, put some effort into what you deliver to the customer base, to the community. And speaking of which, you have a special offer for our listeners. Tell us about that. I'm sure they'd be excited to hear about it.
Yeah, on Lokai.com, you can use podcast 15 for a little discount code.
Right on. Podcast 15 on Lokai.com. That's Lokai. And Stephen, this has been a really insightful and inspirational interview here. We appreciate you being on. But I have one more question that I ask all of our guests on the show. And I'm sure you're going to have a great answer to this because I love where your head and your heart are at and how you live your life. So, Stephen, how do you start your day with a win?
Work out first thing in the morning.
I love it. I love it. Stephen Izen, thank you for being on Start With a Win. Lokai is an amazing brand. Keep doing amazing things, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Adam.
Hey, and thank you for listening to Start With a Win. Are you wondering how to grow your business? It might be something you're missing, and it's not sales and marketing. It's something most people don't even think about until it's too late, and that's leadership. Whether you're leading yourself or a team, leadership is the key for next level growth. Now, if you're wondering what exact steps you need to take to grow as a leader, head over to adamcontos.com/leadership to find out more. And until next time, remember, start with a win. All right. And it's the party after the party.
Hey, we're on YouTube, I think, aren't we?
Yeah, that's right.
What's up, YouTubers?
Yeah. Hey, you stuck around this long. You're waiting for that gold. So, Stephen, I have a question for you. Was there a particular moment or order that you got that was just next level, where you were going along, you believed in what you were doing, and you were seeing, people's lives being, impacted, and then you got an order for 1 million bracelets, and you're like, oh crap, this is game changing, and how do I fulfill all these orders? How did that? Did you have an experience like that at all?
Yeah, we did. We started as a D2C brand. So for the first few years, we were just direct to consumer. We didn't have retail stores, and you could just kind of see the organic story and message just started to ripple, and it would spread and spread and spread, and people would just start to tell the story of Lokai. And at one point, it got so crazy, I just had to get on a plane, fly over to Shenzhen, which is where our factory is, because we couldn't make enough bracelets fast enough. And funny enough, they had made about 10,000 bracelets since when I told them, hey, we need to place another order, and I put it in now. And when I got there, they had 10,000 bracelets made, but they used the wrong density of the silicone, and so it wasn't strong enough. And so I had them cut them up and start again, because it wasn't the quality that I was looking for. So it delayed us a bit, but I think that was one of the key decisions in the long-term success of not putting out bad products.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. And I think it's one of those things too where nowadays so many people try to cut corners and, try to make that buck. And you could tell even just that little bit, it looked the same, but it was just those little things, like you could tell someone cares about the product and that they want you to have that experience, even if it costs a little bit more. And then I think to that, because of that, you have that growth of like when someone gets a bracelet or something like, wow, this feels like really nice,
That's a good point. I mean, even a good brand can't support a dwindling product.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, you guys have a great product, and we appreciate all that you do for the community and I mean, for inspiration for that matter. I mean, if we're not helping people be better people, then I think we have to question what our values are. And you guys do a great job of doing that. So we appreciate it. And thanks for being on the show.
Yeah. Thanks, Adam.
All right.
And I always just view it as, why can't you be successful in business and give back at the same time?
Totally.
Why do you have to do one and then give back after?
Yeah.
So it's kind of always been a through for me.
It's not an either or, it's an and.
Yeah. Agreed.
Totally an and.
Cool. All right. Well, hey, thank you for sticking around for the YouTube portion of Start With a Win. Remember, if you enjoy this content, please hit that thumbs up icon and the bell icon so you get notified every single time a new episode gets dropped. And as always, please follow and subscribe. All right. Until next time, we'll see you when we see you.